everyone, welcome to my garden. It's so nice to be with you again today. It's been a while since I've made video, just because there is not a whole lot going on at the moment. I'm just trying to keep up with the garden for most part. All the trees are dropping leaves, so I'm constantly trying to pick up and clean the garden and keep it, all the spider mites away. Which my garden got really affected by spider mites just recently. If you have been following my videos, especially the roses, they are bouncing back. We have been spraying because we just had no other way to get rid of them. We have been trying to garden without spraying this summer as much as possible, but it got infested by spider mites very quickly, and they really took over. Also, we didn't see it very quickly. We didn't detect them very quickly, just because all they attacked the roses right in the middle of the bush. And so while they were, some of the roses that I have, they're very mature already because they've been here for a few years, and so they got in the center of it, and it was very difficult to see them until everything started getting yellow and dropping leaves. And in the beginning, I thought it was a water issue, because watering too much or watering less or not enough, they look the same. So also with the spider mites also can look the same. And so anyway, it was very difficult to detect, but eventually we realized, and they are still there, because a lot of times when I get in there and water, I can feel their webs a little bit here, there. But now, since we are more on top of it, it's starting to get less and less, and we are, it feels like we are getting control over them at the moment, and we just need to keep going, because they do continue to come back if we don't stay on top of it. And anyway, that's my big rumble for the spider mites today. But today it's an exciting day for me, because I'm going to plant again. I love planting. I can plant all day long. I just love planting so much. And today I'm going to plant a few different things, and I thought I can take you along with me, so we can go ahead and plant together. We can go to different parts of the garden. You guys can see what's going on. Also, they're just really random, so we have to go all different areas of the garden, because I have just several things today. They're not very mature. They're small, but I don't mind planting small plants, because it is affordable for me to buy them, and also it doesn't really take that long for them to mature and take over. So for the garden this size, for me, financially, it's affordable to continue filling my garden this way. Anyway, so just recently I placed a big order with one of our companies here in France, which was, I already planted. I will show them. I didn't really do video, but I got some of the privet, lemon lime privet hedges, which I continued with them the rest of the edges of the garden, and I still need a few more, but I am already almost finished, and I'll show you when we go to that area. However, what happened is they mislabeled my order, and I think they swapped with someone else. And when I contacted them and told them that I didn't order the order that arrived, they, anyway, we sorted it all out. But they said, well, go ahead and keep the ones that has been sent to you in error, and then and then they shipped me my actual order. But there was some plants there that I started researching, because I had no idea what they were, and so these are part of that order that I have, that I think I'm going to plant in the garden. As I started researching, I realized that these are ground cover, and look, they have these beautiful blue flowers. They actually have quite a long blooming season, as far as my research. Maybe I think it's like about 3 months during the summertime. And so these are going to spread. I hope I'm not making a big mistake, because I hope they don't take over where it's really difficult to get rid of them. But I have a place, areas here that actually I don't mind if they do take over a little bit, as long as I can control it. These are creeping plumbago, and I believe they are also cold hardy to zone 5, which is really nice. So they do get really nice bronzy leaves. As you can see, they are deciduous, so they will lose their leaves with the in the middle in the winter time, and then they'll just come back in the summertime or in the spring. So anyway, but they don't get very big. They will stay short. This is about maybe, I don't know, 25 centimeters tall, and so they will spread. So I wanted to show you. Let's go ahead and place them. Every plant that I talked, or I introduced you to what I'm planting today. So we'll just go ahead and place them, because it would be easier that way, and I can show you where they are going. So look, this one is already throwing rhizome out, which means that they are going to spread. So I have 4 of these, and I had few more. I planted them in some other areas of the garden, but these 4 I'm thinking to go ahead and plant in this bed. Now this bed here is a kind of a problem bed for me, because this area is it's saturated with the roots. You can see it's beneath the really, really big pine. So there's lots of roots. There's not a lot of places to plant anything. However, I've been able to plant as much as I can, and you can see, so the closer you go to the roots, it's more difficult to plant. So I just planted irises there, which those irises I found right in the property. I haven't bought them. They're early blooming irises, and in the spring they look really nice when they come up, but they don't mind being in that environment, because their roots just kind of go in between the roots of the tree, and they don't get too wet. They have quite a bit of a drainage, and so they're doing really good. It's ideal place for them. And then in this bed I went ahead and planted 3 Ethiopians, because this is a really nice sunny area, and I thought, why not? They can get really big eventually. It will look really nice, and then in the summertime I can have really nice foliage, because it is a difficult place to plant things. Anyway, I have Ethiopian is here, and then you can see I have a hydrangea piniculata here that it's doing pretty good. This is its first season here. And here in this area, last winter I decided to go ahead and plant heucheras, and I think I planted in one of my videos. These are caramel heucheras, and I absolutely love caramel heucheras. They have just really beautiful coppery tones, absolutely gorgeous. And I thought, it's kind of they will get bigger, but for the moment it is kind of empty in this area, and I was thinking to go ahead and plant these plumbangos in between them, and then even if they spread, I don't think there would be a problem, because they do have a rich, beautiful blue color flowers. And if they want to spread around, honestly I don't mind, because there's nothing else I can plant there anyway. In this corner right here, I have a beautiful Japanese maple that I planted last spring, and it was so tiny when it came. I think it was literally just grafted. This is a Desojo, and it has most amazing colors in the spring, bright raspberry color. It's absolutely stunning, and you can see it is still looking really nice. It has green now with some other tones, but I'm hoping that this will probably get really nice and tall here, and also will have enough sun, but not too much, for the Japanese maples. Some of the varieties of Japanese maples, they just really don't like having under full sun. So, but here I can get decent amount of sun, but it's still feel protected. And so anyway, this tree is doing really good. So I thought I can just plant a couple of them just around the heucheras, maybe one here, and maybe a couple of them in between the heucheras. And then I have creeping Jenny here, and I kind of like how it kind of frames this bed. I need to go ahead, and I always like to go ahead and control them, because you see they're kind of spreading at the moment. What I need to do is kind of go with my scissors and go ahead and cut them to make sure that they don't go over too much, and then I can just keep them nice and trimmed in this area, and hopefully they will get a little thicker, and frame really nicely here, and they stay evergreen for me in the winter time, which is really nice as well. So, and the reason why I went ahead and planted creeping Jenny here is because I had I amend my soil really a lot, and the birds were getting in there, constantly picking through and throwing all the soil on a gravel, and so I decided to go ahead and plant the ground cover here to, so I can protect this area from the birds. Otherwise, so now they don't bother it anymore. But before, they used to just spill all the dirt, soil into the gravel and make a big mess. This is Acantha, which I need to go ahead and remove. I'm not, in the beginning I thought I would like the Acantha, but I'm not really a big fan. They really don't need too much water, and everything else I have around, it does require water. So it really is not compatible with the planting that I have. And honestly, also they get super, super big, even if they are, planted in another sunny or more ideal location for them with a big space. They can get really big, and I really don't have that kind of a space, so I might just remove this eventually. And but another one I'm kind of thinking to plant right here. And so they will have not too much sun, but I think they will have enough sun to spread and bring this beautiful blue color. I think it will look really beautiful. Look at that. This is a new plant for me, so it was kind of an interesting introduction to me by sending this package in error. So I just learned about them, and I think this would probably be a really nice area. Although I am going to redo this area a little bit, because I have some daylilies here. They are really beautiful daylilies, and I don't know their names, but they I think I'm going to remove them from here. They've been here for several years, and you can see they're just really struggled because this area gets really, really dry. I try to give as much as water as possible, but because of the roots of the tree, this area gets really dry. So what I'd like to do is remove my daylilies from here. There is 3 different varieties, and I think I would like to move them into my sunnier bed where they can really thrive. And then hopefully I can plant certain things here where I can have maybe year-round color, maybe nandinas, and some other things. So this is all evolving process, and I think I'm just going to kind of tweak a little bit and see how nice I can make this bed eventually. But it is coming. It's nicer than it has been. It takes time to figure all of this out. So anyway, that's where they are going to go. So my next plant that I'm going to plant today is heucheras. So I got 2 heucheras. They're called red dinosaur. They're quite large. You can see how large the leaves are at this heuchera, but it's super beautiful and gorgeous red color. And if you guys watched my video that I planted my Photinia hedge by my pergola area, which is my last area of the garden where it's not quite developed yet, that I'm still working on. I felt like I planted red dinosaur heucheras there as well, but I realized that I might need 2 more to continue with the path. And let's go, I will place them where it needs to be, and you will see how they are going to look. And then we'll go ahead to plant, and we'll plant after I place all the plants here. But you can see the garden is not looking too bad. Everything is looking okay. They're kind of surviving and bouncing back. You can see some of the roses. I lost all the leaves, especially the inside where they got in, and that's where they most of the time they get in with the inside of the bush, and they're hard to detect. But they're starting to bounce back slowly. Some of them got damaged more than others. Some of them are still looking really good, but some of them they will bounce back. It's that's just nature. But I mean, for most part, look at this. It's looking really nice. The garden is looking good. I have some dahlias that are opening already. Some of the Coffee au lait rose variety that is opening here. These are really beautiful. You can see. I don't know if you can show George how they look. They're really beautiful, and I already cut some to take home. Like I could feel something here. Everything I touch, like I feel webs. And yeah, and this is a hydrangea standard phantom. It's doing really good this year. They're almost finished blooming. some of them, or they're still coming back, I'm not sure. But anyway, it's doing really, really good. It struggled the last couple of years. I'm really pleased how this year they're all blooming and doing really well. These containers are filling in nicely that we planted in the beginning of the spring. Dahlias are doing good. They got also infested by spider mites and then stopped blooming for a while, but you can see the foliage is coming back. They're not yellow. This is how it used to be. You see, this is what they look like from the spider mites. But you have to make sure to go inside and spray underneath the leaves, because that's where they hide. So sometimes when you spray like on top, they don't really get affected by it too much. But they are bouncing back and starting to look nice again. So anyway, and I left my hose here because I'm going to water. But as soon as I plant everything, I didn't pick that up after I finished watering. So this is the area that I'm still working on, and you will see some weeds here just because I really haven't worked as much as I should be, because I've been so concentrated on the other parts. But it's not a problem. I can just come and remove them easily. It's no problem here. So this is the path that I'm going to create here. This is the path. So I have to design it where I need to curve it a little more and then hopefully go all the way inside of this area, because I need to get in there and kind of maintain my garden bed. So I need a little maintenance path to get there and to take the hose in for watering. And then along the way of this path, I have planted heucheras. These are the red dinosaur heuchera, and then I have also planted a copper dinosaur heuchera. And this one is actually the copper variety, and I thought it would be kind of nice to break up a little bit the red with the copper. It would be really pretty. And then these colors also just bounce or resonate really well with this full moon. I'm sorry, not full moon. It's autumn moon Japanese maple. And then I decided that I think I would like to frame this pathway with a couple of more heucheras, which I think I would like to plant one right here, and then I would like to plant another one right here. And so that way, I feel like this path will just kind of at least will take your eye around with the heuchera still kind of guiding you through. So that's kind of the idea of these two heucheras that I ordered, to get those two planted there. And then let's go back and see what else I have there that needs to be planted. So here I have left 4 other plants. So 2 Japanese maples. If you guys have following my videos, I am so fascinated by Japanese maples because they have such an amazing variety. And in fact, I think that Japanese maples bring such an amazing, sophisticated color interest and texture interest to the garden, which some of them vary throughout the year, and they have beautiful reds and yellows and just amazing. They change colors all year round and absolutely stunning. So this one I'm very excited. Actually, Maria Smith, we were messaging back and forth about this Geisha Gone Wild. I was so excited about this Japanese maple because I think this is an American variety, if I'm not mistaken. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I was so happy to find this in France, in Europe, and so I was like, I need to go ahead and get this one. It has amazing variegations on the leaves, and I have just such a perfect spot for this particular tree. And then I have another Japanese maple here. This is the butterfly, and it's very small, but I have a really nice spot for the butterfly to go ahead and get planted. Now this one is green at the moment, but the minute it gets in the sun and it gets established, it will have beautiful pink and green variegations, and then the pink will actually become more cream in the summertime. So this is a really beautiful, very airy kind of variety that's going to bring such an interest to the garden. So, and then here I have just a small hydrangea paniculata. This is a Sunday fraise, strawberry Sunday hydrangea, which I'm very excited to plant just in one area that I really need something. And then here I have another heuchera that I planted. I have 3 in a spot, and we'll go take a look at that really quick. I felt like I really needed the 4th one, which is going to go by the other 3, and I think it's going to be really pretty, but it has a very, very distinct, beautiful purple color. I am really excited. This one called Pink Panther. And yeah, really excited. Not as, big as the red dinosaurs, but it's going to be really beautiful. I told you I have a random planting day today. So let's go ahead and take all these plants. We'll go there and place all of them, and then I'll just go ahead and start planting. And then also, I wanted to show you something I did in the garden. I had a beautiful statue, which was placed right here by this rose arch. And I found another beautiful spot for it. So with George and I moved that statue right here in this little circular area, and I think it turned out so sweet, sitting in the middle of the roses. These are David Austin roses, Sir John Betjeman, and I planted them just this season, early spring. They came bare root, so they are still establishing. But I think this beautiful little statue will look so pretty in the middle of this circle. I absolutely adore it. And then I think I'm going to probably eventually get a really nice big container just to place by the arch, just because I think it's something really large needs to be there for the balance of the entire garden. So that's what I'm going to do to replace the statue back there. But I absolutely love how this turned out. Okay, so this part of the garden, it's looking really good for most part. Agapanthus are done blooming already. Some of them are still looking nice, but some of them need to be trimmed. I've been kind of trimming as much as I can. Orange Dream, Japanese maple is doing very, very nice. And can I say that this dogwood, I can't even tell you what variety this dogwood is. It has a beautiful pink colors, but it hasn't really thrived for me for past years. I have planted this, gosh, it's been here probably good 6 years maybe, and this is the first year that I feel like there is a breakthrough, that it didn't bloom or anything, but I'm just happy that it's green and it's looking lush. Been really babying it for a while, but anyway, it's looking really nice. And I love the fall color of this dogwood because it just has the most beautiful red, vibrant colors in the fall. And here you can see that if you remember, we planted drift of David Austin roses, Vanessa Bell, absolutely adorable, adorable plant. I'm so in love with the color, and they are doing nice and healthy, doing really good. There's another rose right there. It's called Wild Eve, one of the David Austin roses. Also, it's doing really nice. I had a couple of blooms coming up. They were all pretty much, most of them have been bare root plants just this spring. This is their first season, trying to acclimate and come around. So they will be maturing and filling in a lot more as the season progresses, or the coming years. And so the strawberry Sunday hydrangea, I would like to plant right here. I felt like I needed something. You can see the dahlias. I have a grouping of 3 dahlias. They're the same variety. It's this beautiful kind of a vibrant orange color. Really love this variety. They've been doing really nice, and I like how it's framing around the statue here. So they're looking really nice. And rhododendron is looking really good. I'm really pleased with this, but I felt like there is something I need right here. In fact, I have planted what did I plant here? I have lupin. So So I planted lupin in this area, and it never did well. And I don't think it's a good variety. It's been struggling in this area, so I'm going to remove this, and then I'm going to plant a strawberry Sunday hydrangea here. It's very small, but they will bounce back very quickly within next year or so. This will pretty much fill in this entire spot, and I think this is going to be really, really nice in this area, because they don't get really big like a strawberry vanilla hydrangeas. They get, they have a nice, beautiful, large pinnacles, but they're about medium-sized shrub, which is going to be really nice, because this is a David Austin rose. Also, it's a Pat Aston, I believe, and has a really beautiful orange color roses. So I think this is all going to do really become a really nice grouping of plants, and very striking. I have another hydrangea here, a Pina Colada. So I think this is all going to be really beautiful. And the heuchera, I was thinking to plant right here. So you can see this is my hydrangea area, and I love how this area is framed, and it just looks so beautiful, especially in the spring, because I have the agapanthus, I have the hydrangeas, I have some dahlias there as well. I have the grouping of dahlia here. This is a really nice variety. I absolutely adore this dahlia. However, this year there should have been 3. So this year this one is not coming out well, and I think because we had slugs just keep eating it. I've been just placing pallets there to make sure to deter the slugs. However, they haven't done well. So does this one. This one I just replanted again. I wanted to dig out and make sure the roots are not damaged or anything. But no, everything looks really good. So I replanted back, and I thought, you know what? Even if they don't come back this year, they will come back the following year. So that's not a problem. However, I decided I wanted to have some kind of an interesting evergreen specimen here, or the interest here, which is going to be always nice and full in the winter time. So I decided to go with the heucheras because they are evergreen in my area. I am in southern France, zone 8B, and they stay evergreen for me. And so I decided to go ahead and trim this hydrangea a little bit, and then plant another one like right here. And this way, as they start maturing, you can see I have another 3 planted here right in between dahlias. They're not supposed to get really big, but they will have this beautiful purple foliage with orange when the dahlias come around, and if not, they have they just really resonate very nicely with the hydrangeas. Of course, the hydrangea blooms are at the moment pretty, they're spent, they're finished. However, you can see like this one is still a little new, so you can see the colors are looking so beautiful. And I think as the heucheras mature, the colors will just resonate together, really, really beautiful, and we'll have this area a little more full and complete. So that's the plan for here. And then I have these gorgeous Japanese maples that I have to plant, and let's go ahead and I'll show you where they are going to go. These are going to go into the new garden, where I have already few Japanese maples planted, because it's such a great area for Japanese maples. They absolutely love the filtered sun, and maybe I should call this new garden a Japanese maple garden, just because I have several Japanese maples. You can see Amagi Gishir is right there, and then I have Autumn Moon here, and I have Little Princess that we planted right here. This is a Little Princess I just planted just not too long ago. And then as you continue in this flower bed, you can see this is absolutely gorgeous Japanese maple. Oh, I just look at this. Just a color is so So stunning, absolutely gorgeous. I am so in love with this plant. Look at this. It has a gorgeous bark. Even when it loses its leaves in the winter time, you can see this bright yellow, beautiful bark that it will leave this amazing, bright interest in the winter time. Just so gorgeous. And the colors were a little more chartreuse in the summertime, more like this. And now you can see how it's changed into yellows and apricots and oranges. Just stunning, stunning tree. And then I have another Japanese maple here, which is this one is one of my absolute favorite Japanese maple. This one is called red wine, and when this starts sprouting in in the springtime, when the leaves are just arriving, it's the most gorgeous bright red you could even imagine. Absolutely, you can see just a mile away how beautiful, and it's supposed to get really big, which I'm hoping to just cover this entire area. But it even in the summertime, so it gets kind of green right after the red, and then now we are in the mid, we are almost at the end of July, and it changed the colors to this incredible, gorgeous, gorgeous, stunning, absolutely stunning colors. Just love it. So here in this area, I have a grouping of 3 David Austin roses. They are, again, been planted bare root just this last spring. This is Princess Alexandra of Kent. Love these roses. They already had their blooms. I already trimmed them. They're doing really good, and I think they will flourish here. But what I'd like to do is remove this tree. Now this is I absolutely love this tree. I have 2 in the garden, and I'm going to move this into a more sunnier spot, a bed right there behind me. Now this is an elderberry, and it has a beautiful dark foliage, but it's not as dark as you can see now. It's a little more green just because this is under a filtered sun and it's not under full-time sun. So I think I would like to move it into full-time sun. Now this can be, I think it gets about 8 feet tall, has beautiful flowers in the springtime, but it doesn't get very wide. It gets really narrow, about maybe meter and a half, and tall, which is going to be absolutely perfect for a bed that I have there. So I'm going to remove this and plant there. So, but instead, here I'm going to plant this absolutely gorgeous Japanese maple called Geisha Gone Wild. And so I think this is going to bring just gorgeous color interest here, and so everything is going to be in their own spot. And then this butterfly Japanese maple here, I'm going to plant somewhere here. I just removed something from here and transplanted some from somewhere else, which is fine. That's no problem. But what I'd like to do is bring the Japanese maple and plant them somewhere here. So butterfly doesn't get very big. It just gets really nice and airy, beautiful, and I think it's going to do really nice here. So that way I can have several Japanese maples all over the place. And yeah, and the greatest thing about this area, it's not super open to the sun, but I can control it. Like going forward, I can trim more trees, I can trim more branches, I can control the light a little more. And so for now, I think everything is doing good. Even the roses have been doing really good, so which is really nice. And you can see this one is called Wild. This one is Abraham Darby by David Austin. It bloomed already. Again, it was bare root, just planted this last spring. They are doing really good, but I do think that they need a little more sun, which is eventually this area will completely be transformed, because I planted Nellie Stevens hollies all around the edges of this area, so they will take over eventually, and hopefully we can open more up above and then have a better privacy hedge. Then all of these things will go. But you know how it's just everything takes time to evolve and replace each other's spots, because that's just how everything works, right? And so anyway, and I have some dahlias here that are opening, which is really nice. I don't know if any of them are open at the moment, but no, nothing is open yet today, but I already had few blooms. They are looking really good. I have several dahlias here that I planted early spring, and they're all coming back, and they all are doing really good and starting to bloom. So for the most part, everybody's doing really good. And anyway, I might not even plant all of it in a video just because I think this video is going really long, and I've been explaining a lot of the things what's going on. Oh, look at this climbing rose is doing so well. Now this is the climbing rose that I planted bare root. Again, this is called Amnesty International, and I'm hoping for this to climb this entire arbor here, which would be really pretty. And we still have to secure this with George a little more, so we still have lots of work to do, etc. But look, this is doing really, really nice and healthy. I have some blooms looking gorgeous. So yeah, everything is coming together really well. I'm so sorry about my hose. I didn't pick this up today. But I have to plant, literally right after this video, I'm going to plant my Japanese maples, and I need to water them anyway. So I decided might as well just leave it out. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is kind of what I'm doing today, what's going on in a garden, basically. But everything is coming together. Look at this rose that's doing so nicely here. It's already bouncing back. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for watching my videos, and please don't forget to subscribe to my videos and share with your friends, anyone who likes gardening. That this helps me to keep gardening and to keep expanding. So keep creating, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye.